knocks her dead when she lands out. All the tips that the porter slips to sweet Georgia Brown. Fellas, take your hats. Hey fellas, now she's a cat. Georgia claimed her, sweet Georgia Brown. Welcome to the stage our presenter from the library, Marie Seller.
I hate to interrupt them, they sound so good. And I'll try to be quick, although I have a little bit to say. So, good afternoon and welcome to your Beaverton City Library and to the first of our free adult summer reading program performances. Today we are very excited to offer the jazz trio, Jass Two Plus One. Before we let them formally begin, even though we already did already, I'd like to share a little bit of history about the group. In 1994, Jass Two was co-founded by Teddy Dean and Steve Boden, who is in the middle there, and they began playing on the Columbia River stern wheelers. They were featured talent aboard the Queen of the West, the Columbia Gorge, and others. The act became Jass Two Plus One in 2002 with Steve and Joe Wimmer and Jack Stevens. The present incarnation right here consists of Steve Boden, John Wallington, and Dick Saunders, who's on the end over here. Normally I don't spend any more time talking about the individual performers, but I was so impressed with what I read about them that I felt I had to share. So bear with me a couple of minutes. Steve Boden, who is amazing vocal talent that you've already heard, was discovered at an early age. Sings in a smooth, jazzy crooner style and plays the infectious rhythms of early jazz on his vintage arch-top guitar. He knows the music, the times, and the events that make the Roaring Twenties roar. Steve credits jazz guitar pioneer Eddie Lang as an influence. At Portland's KFM, he discovered the romance and adventure of early jazz music and hosted the Ragtime Show. He also toured with the show duo Boden and Zanetto. Moving on to John Wallington down at the end there. John Wallington's bass gives Jass Two Plus One distinctive depth and drive. John is also featured on bassist, make sure I say that right, with Portland's legendary Stumptown Jazz, and has played the legendary Hollywood Bowl and Coconut Grove Orchestra. John's a master of both the upright bass and the tuba, and has been influenced by Fats Waller, Louis Armstrong, and Mozart. His talents also extends to classical music as founder of the Portland Brass Quintet. He has also played with other orchestras, some of which are Rose City Chamber Orchestra and the Santa Cruz Symphony. And last but definitely not least is Dick Saunders over here. His virtuoso command of the clarinet and sax shows the hand of a master of vintage jazz. A few facts about Dick. He began his career singing on New York radio at age 4. He played the famous Fourth Circuit. He directed band and choral units in the U.S. Air Force. He played in the Phoenix Symphony and top showroom orchestras in Las Vegas, Reno, and Lake Tahoe. He worked in Los Angeles for studio sessions in the radio, TV, and film industries, and his mastery of woodwind instruments brought him work with such stars as Tony Bennett, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, and more. We are all very lucky that he relocated to the Portland area and regularly appears as soloist with Norman Layton's Oregon Symphony Pops Orchestra. So sit back and prepare yourself to be transported back in time to the United States in the 1920s and 1930s, a vibrant and robust time filled with social changes, technology, and events that would change the existing way of life. Now, you're here, what you're finally here for, Jass 2 Plus One.
Here I go again. I hear the trumpets blow again. I'm on the road again, taking a chance on love. Here lies the line again, about to take that ride again. All starry-eyed again, taking a chance on love. I thought the cards were a frame-up and never try. Now you're taking the game up and the ace of hearts is high. Things are winning now. I hear a rainbow blending now. Have a happy beginning now. Taking a chance on love. I go again. I hear the trumpets blow again. I'm on the glow again, taking a chance on love. Here lies the light again, about to take that ride again. All starry-eyed again, taking a chance on love. I thought the cards were a frame-up and never would try. Now you're taking the game up and the ace of hearts is high. Things are winning now. I see a rainbow living now. Have a happy beginning now. Taking a chance on love, 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 love. Taking a chance on love. We do appreciate your kind applause, and it makes us feel welcome here at the library stage. It cost me a quart of oil to drive down here today. We'd like to ask a small favor. If you would be kind enough to let loose the reins of your imagination, we'd like to invite you on a journey back to the dawn of the modern age, the 1920s and 30s. Ha-cha-cha! Now, while you're visiting, you might like to take advantage of the prices. After all, you could go out in those days. If you wanted to get some ordinary saltine crackers, you'd buy a barrel. That's how they came. And you'd pay about 90 cents for an entire barrel of crackers. Yes, and ladies and gents, Sunday best suit of clothes, including your hat, about $20. In 1925, you could buy a small house with the land, a bungalow, about $2,500. The whole works. And in those days, a 2x4 actually measured 2x4 inches. Things are moving right along in this period of time. The new Ford automobile is on the scene, and Mr. Ford will sell you the brand new improved Ford Model A in 1927. You'll pay about $600 to $700 brand new. Mr. Ford says you can have it any color you like as long as it's black. Because in those days, a lot of new stuff that was going to change the whole scenery of America. We got automobiles, we got aviation, yes, we got radio, and along with it, a new music. First so radical, it was widely known as the corruption of youth. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what's wrong with the kids today. It's this new jazz music. No ordinary everyday music goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Not so this new jazz music. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Clocks and watches are running all wrong, and you may laugh. You may sneer. There's a woman snorking behind her hand there, but yet beware this new jazz music. Too much of it will cause your heart valves to beat out of rhythm. And along with all the technological changes coming along, we got movies. For the first time, people could go and see larger than life on the big 18-foot silver screen, the movie stars. You could see Charlie Chaplin. Yes, you could see, oh man, Laurel and Hardy. You could see the Little Rascals. You could see Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford. And by 1927 and 28, the movies learned to talk. And we're going to do one from a movie right now. This comes from a fairly obscure thing called Captain January back in the 30s, but did star an up-and-coming young child movie star by the name of Shirley Temple. I got to apologize up front. I just can't get into those little ruffled dresses like I used to. Next Friday night, you're all invited to dance from 8 to 5. All the fishes are left alive, having them all. It's a grand affair, they'll all be there from the head to the whale. They'll come out and shake a scale in Neptune's ball. Come down and follow me to the bottom of the sea. Everyone is family at the codfish ball. Dancing in a row, shuffle up to Buffalo. Jellyfish sway to and fro at the codfish ball. Shark and salmon play backgammon till the break of day. We see horses here, of course. This is the place where the place I'll play. Come along and follow me. Everyone is family at the bottom of the sea at the codfish ball. In the 1920s, there was a lot of artistic ferment going on. We had the Harlem Renaissance, and some of the greatest African-American talent in the jazz age came along. Also, American artists were going to Paris to look for artistic freedom and inspiration, among them Ernest Hemingway, and a whole lot of fantastic artists on the left bank of Paris. One of them, the great Sidney Bechet, the exponent of the soprano saxophone, wrote a tune we're going to feature Dick on right now, but also he happens to have a historic horn, and I'd like to ask you, just give us a little bit on the horn, would you please?
Yes. It is a very old instrument. It was built about 1923 and was played on the original Paul Whiteman Orchestra. It was one of the instruments in the sax section there, and it was given to me, and I took my first saxophone lesson many years ago on this particular soprano saxophone. It's a wonderful Martin straight soprano saxophone.
for a second lesson.
Back in the 1920s, we saw a lot of changes coming around, as I mentioned, that were going to really change the thing. One of the big things, and you don't hear about a lot, but had been a nation of small farmers up until the 20s. By that time, industrialization and the modern age had taken place, and people, especially the kids, were moving off the farms into the cities. They were working in industries, holding their own jobs. A new sense of independence had really swept the country. Things are coming on the scene that we're going to change it a lot. Take for instance, electric appliances. For centuries, the Iceman would come around with his cart and his big tongs, and he put a big ice block in your ice box. You could still find them in antique stores. But now it's electric refrigeration, electric and gas stoves, central heating, which means no more chopping that old wood and feed it into wood stoves. You can imagine what an electric fan would mean to somebody down in Mississippi or Georgia with the heat down there. I'd be hugging it all day long. And things are moving on. Mass media came on. We have movies and radio, and people were patterning their lives for the first time after movie stars and sports heroes and so forth. And the music was one part of it, and it always reflects the society, and yet this was with a sense of rebellion and a new vitality, because the country was beginning to boil like a kettle of water over a hot stove. This was indeed the perfect time to fall in love. Say it's only a paper room, flying over a cardboard city, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believe in me. Say it's only a cactus star flying over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a petty arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as funny as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Say it's only a paper moon lying over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Say it's only a canvas scar lying over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Out your love, it's honky-tonk parade. Out your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. You believe in me. During the 20s and 30s, the North and South Pole were explored. King Tut's tomb was found and opened, the contents put on display. The Amazon River was explored for the first time by Westerners, and finally Lindbergh flew the Atlantic. First guy to do so and lived to tell about it. You know? Things are moving right along. And in 1920, women achieved the right to vote. It might be nice to note that prior to that, about 1910, the history book said that it took the lady of the house and her teenage daughter all week to do the family wash, to wash and dry and iron the family wash. And this was done over a hand-fired boiler, usually coal or wood. And the soap was, you know, one of those big brown bars, and they throw it in there, and it was said to be very harsh. By the 20s, the first outdoor gas motor putt-putt wash machines came along. And the changes are happening all along. And women, among other things, had moved off the farm into the city. You knew a girl like that? No. I just saw a maniac, boy, tear his hair. Jumping like a jumping jack, joy, you shouldn't have there. Well, I had some heart, I thought that I would cave in. When I heard that silly daffodil there, baby, 5'2", eyes are blue, but what those 5 can do? Has anybody seen my gal? Turned up nose, turned out nose, she's a flapper, one of those. Has anybody seen my gal? And if you run it, 5'2", covered with furs, diamond rings and all those things, but your life, well, it ain't her. She woo, she do. Has anybody seen my gal? Seen my gal? Turned up nose, turned out nose, and got no other nose. Has anybody seen my gal? Well, if you run into 5'2", covered with furs, diamond rings and all those things, well, you bet your life will it ain't her. She woo, she. Has anybody seen my? Anybody fact, during this time, Ford produced the first million automobiles. The zipper replaces buttons on jeans. I thought that was a step forward myself. Antifreeze allows year-round motoring. First soldiers. One, two, up, first you say do, and then you don't. And when you say will, that's when you won't. You're undecided now, what are you gonna do? Now you want to play, and then it's no. When you say you'll stay, that's when you go. You're undecided now, what are you gonna do? I've been sitting on a fence, and it doesn't make much sense. You leave me in suspense, and you know you promise to return when you don't ever really learn. Well, I guess you'll never learn, and you show it. If you got a heart, then if you're kind, don't be false apart, make up your mind. You're undecided now, what are you gonna do? First you say you do, and then you don't. And when you say you will, that's when you won't. You're undecided now, what are you gonna do? Now you won't play, and then it's no. When you say you'll stay, that's when you'll go. You're undecided now, what are you gonna do? I've been sitting on a fence, and it doesn't make much sense. You leave me in suspense, and you know it. To return when you don't really learn. I guess I'll never learn, and I show it. If you got a heart, and if you're kind, don't be just hard, make up your mind. You're undecided now, what are you gonna do? Well, you're undecided now, what are you gonna do? You remember here a couple of years ago, the airline pilots had got distracted and they kept flying past their destination. Well, they quietly rehired him, put the guy on a route into flying into New Orleans, and when you know it happened again, which brings us to the title of our next tune. We're going to feature Dick Saunders again on soprano sax. This is final tune from the greatest trumpeter in jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong. This is called Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans? It's his joke. I did.